Welcome. Today we'll learn how to write and balance a chemical equation for the reaction between copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide. Let's start by writing out our reactants and products. On the reactant side, we have copper 2-sulfate, CuSO4, and sodium hydroxide, NaOH. These react to form copper 2 hydroxide, CuOH2, and sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. Now, let's count the atoms on each side of the equation to see if it's balanced. For copper, we have one atom on each side. For sulfur, we have one atom on each side. For oxygen, on the reactant side, we have 4 from CuSO4 and 1 from NaOH, making 5 oxygens. On the product side, we have 2 from CuOH2 and 4 from Na2SO4, making 6 oxygens. For sodium, we have 1 on the reactant side, but 2 on the product side. And for hydrogen, we have 1 on the reactant side, but 2 on the product side. To balance this equation, we need to make the number of atoms equal on both sides. Let's start with sodium. We need 2 sodium atoms on the product side, so we'll add a coefficient of 2 to NaOH. This gives us 2 OH groups on the reactant side, which matches the 2 OH groups in copper hydroxide. The sulfate groups are already balanced with 1 on each side. Our final balanced equation is 1 CuSO4 plus 2 NaOH yields 1 CuOH2 plus 1 Na2SO4. Let's verify that all atoms are balanced. We now have 1 copper on each side, 1 sulfur on each side, 6 oxygens on each side, 2 sodiums on each side, and 2 hydrogens on each side. And that's how we balance the chemical equation for the reaction between copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide. Remember to always check that the number of atoms is equal on both sides of the equation.